I'd like everybody to just mention their two names and give me a sentence or two why those are trade for or trade away targets. We're not going to do the whole round robin. We don't have time for that. But let's get into it quickly. Bob, I'm going to have you start with your top two. You've mentioned James Conner already, but let us know James Conner and whom and why they're trade for or trade away. Give us a sentence or two, and then we'll move on to Derek, Matt, and then myself to close out.
Well, James Conner and Cooper Kupp are basically undervalued, suppressed value due to some injuries of their own and plus injuries to important players on their team. So James Conner can probably be had for a wide receiver 2 right now, maybe like a Christian Kirk type player. I would say I would even flip a Ramondre Stevenson and add in a player like Gabe Davis, for example, a wide receiver 3 to get James Conner. I think he's going to give you borderline RB1 numbers, elite usage. The other one is Cooper Kupp. Very rarely can you get a top 5 player, not just receiver, in fantasy football right now. And I think Cooper Kupp is that guy. So I've been floating around, and I was trying to get your guys' feedback on this. Jalen Waddle and Swift, is that too much for a player like Cooper Kupp? What's your thoughts?
I'd rather have Kupp.
Yeah, same.
All right. I'm going to make that offer. Those are my two guys, Cooper Kupp, James Conner. What's your thoughts, Derek?
Yeah, so for me, DK Metcalf's the first one. He's been a kind of a trade away for much of the season, but now he's a trade for. Seattle's got a great lineup coming up, and DK, he's healthier now. He's getting the ball. He's playing well, and so I would say I would want him. I would say you could possibly trade Debo to get DK Metcalf. That would be a trade that I would make if you have Debo. Amari Cooper. I don't know if Amari Cooper is enough to get Debo. What do you guys think?
Debo, Cooper, Metcalf is how I would rank them rest of the season.
Okay, that's interesting.
Doubling down on your Week 10 DK hate.
Yeah. So my other name is
Rashid. Right. So I'm just going to do that again.
Oh my God.
So my other name is Rashid Shaheed, New Orleans. So of course they're on bye, but New Orleans faces the defense ranked second best rest of the season for slot. Of course, we know Thomas is out. Olave probably moves out wide a little bit more, leaving Shaheed pretty good. Either a wide receiver 3 or a flex play. I mean, he's only rostered in about half of leagues, and he's getting 6+ targets 3 of the last 5, including 9 last week after Thomas went out. So clearly, Shaheed is bumped up the food chain there in New Orleans. So he'd be one I'd want to go for, and I would trade Christian Watson to get Shaheed. What do you guys think about that?
Absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah, agreed.
All right.
Okay, Maddie, before you get going here, we wrap out. Can we do a Razzball Thanksgiving food draft? It's a great suggestion. We'll have that ready for you on the Tuesday before the Thursday game, so tune in again, and we'll have that ready for you, Daniel. Great suggestion. Russian didn't miss the note, but did drop it back in here, so I want to oblige that. By the way, 8-2 for Russian collision. Not sure why you need our help, but let's try to do our best here. Pollard, Burrow, Kamara, Kirk, Debo, Musgrave, Addison. Any moves to be made here with Jacobs? I think we talked about maybe Addison, if you can get him, just because we got Jefferson coming back. Pollard, we've talked about a lot tonight, maybe moving off of. Does anyone else have another suggestion?
Yeah, I want to add a receiver.
McBride over Musgrave if McBride's still on your wire.
Yeah, and I'd want to try to add a receiver, a little better receiver, a little more consistent receiver. Actually, someone who would fit really well on this team is Courtland Sutton to me. Nice floor, nice even floor to build on and let the others, build up. So yeah, I would look for another receiver.
Yeah, and maybe you let Pollard blow up this week, and then you deal him for the receiver you need.
I like it.
Yeah.
Bob?
Pollard and Addison, I would package to probably get an upgrade at either position. Trying to go for probably a low-end wide receiver 1 like Mike Evans type player would be good there because that's somebody that could probably be at that position the rest of the season. I don't know if you can get Amon-Ra St. Brown, but if you can shoot for the stars, go for it. But running back-wise, I would even look at maybe like Kenneth Walker for those two. Might be a good duo to get reasonable RB1 there. So that's kind of my thoughts for that.
Look at another Lions running back too, Gibbs or Montgomery. Would you do Amon-Ra, Evan Ingram, Boyd, and Taysom Hill? Got Hawkinson, Walker, and Olave. So, not sure what the question is here.
It's the same question we had before.
Wasn't that Savage Chris?
Yeah, maybe, but Hawkinson, Olave, I'm the Hawkinson side. Hawkinson, Olave, Kenneth Walker, and Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Yeah,
This
that
is
was
the question
Savage.
that led
That was
me-
Savage Chris. Same question.
Yeah,
Now
this
he's
is the
turning
question that
back
led me to
again.
get the bananas out.
Got it. Love it. And James Conner just traded for him in another league. Dylan is completely on point. Matt, why don't we run off here? We are done with questions, folks. We love you all. Hit us up in the DMs. Join us on Sunday morning, 2 hours before kickoff. We'll answer the rest of your questions, but we're not answering any more tonight. So we are done for the evening with that. Matt, why don't you let us know 2 of your trade targets, and I will do the same.
Mine are getting a little soft, right? So I had trade for Davante, but after this discussion with Bob and noting that his trade for was Cooper Kupp, and I think the group agreed if I can deal, Derek and I can deal Davante Adams and Puka Nacua and get back Cooper Kupp and Javonte Williams, we should smash that. So I'm going to hit submit, right? You see it here, right? Boom. That is submitted. Now, I still think you can go out and get Davante Adams for a Tony Pollard. You can get Davante Adams for DK Metcalf or Kenneth Walker. You can get Davante still, and you're still buying low, unless it's somebody like me that has an unfair bias towards Davante Adams. My other name is Olave, but I'm softening on Olave just a little bit because of the Michael Thomas injury update. I still think he's going to be good, but now on the other side is going to be a guy named A.T. Perry. Look that up. Raise your hand if you'd heard of him before. So I think, Bob, really?
6'5", 205, A.T. Perry. Shouts out to our tall boys.
He's the poor man's Lil Jordan Humphrey.
Wow. Wait, wouldn't he be the tall man's Lil Jordan? Never mind. Go ahead.
Yeah. So I like Olave. I think that if Jameis can figure it out, because he looked awful when he came in off the bench, then Olave is a good buy low, because the problem with Olave is he's a big name. People are still pricing him as a big name. So I'm going to lean probably a little bit closer to Derek here, and maybe you go after Rashid Shaheed over Olave, and I'm good with the names that Derek shared. Now, same league where we just made the offer with Davante Adams. If that doesn't work out, are we saying that we should offer our Debo for their DK Metcalf? I know Sky said no.
I'm a wash on that one. I think it's close. If you look at their rest of season schedules, use the Razzball tool. They're both very good. So I think you're going to be one of those where you win some weeks, lose others.
All right. So then my final comment for tonight on our 16-hour marathon program: if I do not see Dylan Fink on the Sunday morning start sit show, I'm not going to be mad, Guy. What am I going to be? I'm going to be disappointed.
Yeah, I mean, we're all parents here. I mean, I get it. And
but what are the odds that he can get his sister to chime in as well, and we can chat her side of this deal?
No, I think it's fine. I think, again, we addressed that this is not going to be a collusion. There's no collusion here. This is simply 2 family members making a healthy fantasy football trade in a family league. It happens all the time. No collusion. I love it. Mikey checking in, no question. So I wanted to bring it up here. Just wanted to chime in. Just traded for Davante Adams, traded away Devonta Smith and Tyler Lockett, got back Adams and Hopkins, full PPR. Thumbs up, thumbs down on that move. Getting Adams and Hopkins for Smith and Lockett. Thumbs up or down? I'm pretty 50-50 as well. Okay, Bob's at 59-41 for Bob.
I was thinking 50. Scott, you get me. Our non-verbals are good. I'm feeling it.
I love it. All right. Great. Any other thoughts here on Matt's suggestions? So we're gravitating toward Olave and Adams potentially. Any other thoughts before I give you mine and get out of here?
I want to push back on one thing Matt said, though. Jameis Winston is fantasy gold. Oh, my God. He is fantasy. Because the best part about Jameis is that he goes YOLO. He'll throw every deep pass, and then he'll throw a bunch of picks, which causes more points for the other team, and then he's got to throw more. It is absolutely the greatest thing ever. So I hope Derek Carr takes some time off, because I guarantee you Chris Olave will go through the roof.
I love that. All right, boys, I'm going to give you my final two, and we're going to tune off here. Once again, everybody, you've been listening to the Razzball Fantasy Football YouTube show. Thank you so much for all the commentary tonight. It's been a blast. I'm going to give you two more trade suggestions. You can find my full article coming out tomorrow morning, dropping on football.razzball.com. Maddie's article is already ready for your waiver pickups last minute. Derek will be dropping his top 5 things to know on the week heading into the weekend, and Bob is, of course, going to have the slot versus wide mentions as well. Najee Harris is a guy that I'm actually targeting. I know I'm going to need – I just had a banana. Literally, I just ate a banana on air because I got a little indigestion thinking about that. But Najee Harris has scored a touchdown in 3 of the last 4 games. He is the running back 9, folks, 9 in PPR since the bye week in week 6. Week 7 through 10, he's running back number 9. He was running back 36 in the first 6 weeks of the season. I love that. Ramondre Stevenson, I would rather trade away and get Najee Harris. And Amari Cooper is another guy maybe I would trade away. I just don't love the schedule coming up. I'm going to sell on Deshaun Watson right now. So Amari Cooper would be a guy I would trade away for Najee Harris. The next guy we talked about a little bit tonight as well. Broncos are on the come up. Russell Wilson's cooking. Jerry Jeudy is not. But Courtland Sutton is. Should have had a bigger game on Monday Night Football. He is over 15 PPR fantasy points in 3 of the last 4 games. I love that consistency, as we mentioned. Plus, he's got some boom potential there. Tyler Lockett is a guy that I would move if I could. And a pairing maybe, Brandon Cooks, who had a blow-up game, so sell that immediately if you can. And A.J. Dillon, who's kind of splitting work in Green Bay. If I could split Brandon Cooks and A.J. Dillon and go get Courtland Sutton, who I still don't think people really buy into the Broncos, I would do that personally. I'm getting Najee Harris and Courtland Sutton. Any quick thoughts on my trade targets before we get out of here?
Yeah, I like the Sutton move.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice floor every week.
Watching that game last night, and I love it. I made it 2 hours without being really blurry. Watching that game last night, it's clear that Sutton is like, not only is he an every down player, but he is way beyond Jerry Jeudy. So like, I was on Jeudy last night, and I was like, totally wrong. So when you brought up Sutton today, I'm like, I actually think he is someone that even though he's been productive the last few weeks, I still don't think people view him as like a consistent wide receiver too. So you could probably get him relatively cheap. And possibly I would even be willing to take a haircut at a running back to throw in Sutton. Like, drop down maybe a half a tier at running back to add Sutton into the trade to solidify my flex spot.
Yeah, double-digit fantasy points in 8 of 9 games.
Enough with the haircut talk, Bob.
I had to throw my shot. You know what I mean? Yeah, it is what it is. End of the day. I've been nice for 2.5 hours. I can't be nice anymore. I said it. Hair, whatever. There you go.
Folks, that's going to be all for us. For those of you that are exhausted and you're heading to bed, kiwis and cherries are the best for a good night's sleep in the fruit world. So have any indigestion, go ahead and hit that banana, maybe an apple, a pear, get a little pumpkin perhaps there. Do have seeds in the middle, or some coconut, melons. And then when you're heading to bed, kiwi and cherry, great opportunity for you. Bob, we want to thank you for stepping up, getting out of your comfort zone tonight, joining us and everybody else around the world and enjoying a couple of pears. So thank you for doing that. And we'll be continuing to rank fruits and other random things on this podcast. Appreciate everybody for hanging out with us. Again, Derek _Favret, Bobby Lamarco, @Styles08. All 4 of our articles live and ready to go every single week for free, along with our other great writers on football.razzball.com. Check us out Sunday, 2 hours before kickoff, right here on the YouTube channel for all of your starts and questions. An episode very similar to tonight. Trade questions, trade deadlines coming up, and waiver as well. Come and check us out. Super chat if you'd like to get your question answered a little quicker. Any contributions are much appreciated. And go to a donation for our good friends supporting the youth through good sports. You can also, of course, download the podcast there as well. Razzball Fantasy Football Podcast, anywhere you listen to your podcasts. And we will check you out next time.